Today we are officially going to figure out if this boat of a kayak will go on top of the rack of the Subaru Outback. I got rid of my big truck and my big boat and decided to go a smaller, more reserved route. Well, I say smaller because this is the 14-foot Hobie Pro Angler, which if you don't know is a kayak, but oh my, at the size, the width, the inside rod storage, I mean, this guy is literally like a mini boat. But the real reason we're here today is because I need to get this up there so I can go fishing. And everybody that I've told about this so far is like, yeah, but you're not getting that up there by yourself. We're going to find out. So once I actually get this big boy up there, I know that my hatch is not going to be able to open. So the first thing I wanted to do is make sure everything that I'm actually taking with me is in the back of the car. Obviously, aside from my fishing poles, that is why I chose this one here, is because this one actually has the storage solution for the poles, even while it's on top of the car. And if you're as picky as me and you want to protect your vehicle, that's the first thing that you're going to need. Some sort of cloth towel. In my case, I'm actually using my microfiber towel that I actually use to dry the car down. But you actually want something here to protect where the bow of that kayak is going to go, because that's where we're going first. The next part of this is going to be relevant to your kayak and what position it needs to be in. But something of this nature and this lineup is going to be our start. So I've actually got the stern of the kayak a good bit off of the car. And the bow of the kayak is going to be as close to my car as I can. And then we're going to lift that bow up and sit it right up there. And I just want to clarify right now that in no way, shape, or form did I admit that this was going to be easy. It is possible, but not easy. Here we go. So fortunately for me, my crossbar back here caught me from sliding too far, but this is that first step in the process. Now we have the bow up and I can tend to my wheels next. So for the way that I'm going to do my wheels, I'm actually going to have to unpin them and then I'm going to pin them back through the top side. And I'm just going to make sure I pin it through the bottom side because I actually haul mine with this on there. And another secondary safety for me is just to throw these bungees over top of it. So that way I know these wheels aren't going to bounce off top of the car. And I know what you're thinking, we're only halfway there. That is correct. Now you take the stern of that boat and go up. Now it's a little wonky up there, so I want to go to this side of the car and actually push that bow back around. Some of this dynamic might be a little bit different depending on your size kayak and how it fits on yours. But for today, we're just focusing on the 14-foot Pro Angler on top of a Subaru Outback. All right, I'm going to finish squaring this thing up, and then we're going to push it forward because we want to get that Hobie symbol pretty much in the middle. And I do want to get these wheels pretty much over this crossbar, pretty much right in line with this crossbar, the wheels. And that should be about where I want it. Now it does take some time to figure this out, but what I can do at this moment now would be to strap this completely off. Instead of doing that in this moment, I'm actually going to show you how to get it off. It's going to basically be the same process, but in reverse. It is definitely a delicate dance pushing it up and pulling it down and making sure you remain in those sweet spots so it doesn't fall off. So now once I'm actually there, I would unbungee my wheels, unclip, and actually get my wheels back in spot. So my wheels only have one bungee. So when I go through the bottom, I want this bungee closest to me just to help out. So now I can easily pin this side off and I'm good to go. And this part here is actually one of the hardest parts, because you're sort of working yourself under the kayak in order to get it off of here. So it's pretty much where you're holding the most weight. But again, I didn't promise that it was going to be easy. I promised that we can make it happen. Now I'm going to do this a second time because I actually got to get it up there and strap it down because I am going fishing soon. I think I actually positioned it better this time, but we'll find out. Yep, that was much better. The more you do it, the better you're going to get on that positioning. Obviously, the first time I didn't have it in the exact same spot that I wanted it to, but now I've got that pivot point about right, or I'm actually right in the center of my crossbars.
What we do here is go back.
And again, our back hatch is not going to open now. So all your towels and ratchet straps and everything you need for this is going to need to be pre-planned to have in an accessible area. I have all my strapping down here, my towel, my cooler, and even my bait bucket at the moment is actually back here. So that's going to allow me to be able to get my drinks, my ice, and my bait on the way to the fishing spot without opening that back hatch. Now, everyone has their own preference of how they strap things down. You're not supposed to use ratchet straps on kayaks because they're plastic and you can over tighten them. I use one in my setup. I have to admit it. The rest are all cam straps. You can strap yours down any way you want to. I'm overprotective. This is where I like to specify, I only throw the loose end over the car, even though the buckle has that little rubberized texture on it. I'm only throwing that loose end over. This is where I like to take my time and be critical because I am going to be going on the highway with this thing like this. So I like to take my time, make sure it's right, and make sure I'm not tearing anything up. That's one thing I can see already. If I was to have to do this in like rain or inclement weather, this would not be fun. And then to make sure everything is in the right spot, I can open up that back door and actually get up here to actually get the straps, make sure they look good coming across the top, and everything is good and snug from up here. And if I wasn't so short, this would probably be much easier. That makes that thing snug by itself right there. Just those two cam buckles. I haven't actually really tightened the front yet, but I do want to do the front and the back so it's pulling down. But honestly, those two right there just snugged it down really good. And at this point now, I'm going to go ahead and get that slack out of these front ones. So then we can put that final touch on the back side. So I put those two on the front towards the bow. So what I want this one to do is just put a little bit of pressure towards the front to push on those bow straps. I'm not going to He-Man it and crank it down to oblivion. I'm just snugging it too, so it's pushing on those two front ones. Take your time, figure it out as you go. Go ahead and hook this back in here, and then I'll show you those hook spots that I actually have on this one. So obviously this is the original rail that comes with the Subaru Wilderness right here. Then I have my crossbars, but actually right here on the originals is where I have a hooking spot. And then I also have a hook spot right here on the back side in both sides. Two that are actually on the kayak are going to the crossbar itself. I did actually find the padding, the straps, and the crossbars on Amazon. So I'll link those down below if you want to check those out. Another thing I'll add to those cam buckle straps is they actually have a rubber outside. So when you're dropping them on the car and all that good stuff, they keep it protected. If you're anything like me, you're gonna really like what I do with this strap right here, because what I have figured out is once I'm done with the tag end, I can literally just take this bright orange ratchet strap and tie it around itself. And then I have me a nice little tag that says, hey, watch out for me. Don't go up there, stay down there. So light pressure on the one ratchet strap actually pushes to those bow straps, and I think that right there will work. I'm going to tie up all the loose ends now. And speaking of tying up loose ends, if you actually do wind up going with the same cam buckle straps that I got, they come with little Velcro pieces. So that's what I'm actually going to use. Once I get it knotted up a little bit, I can actually strap them down real nice with the Velcro that comes with them. I give me a nice little knot on here and then tag up that last little bit with that Velcro, and she's tight. And you know I couldn't leave you hanging. That's not going anywhere. As I said, it is not easy, but it is doable. If you need you some crossbars, the padding itself, or the cam buckles, I'm going to leave you that link in the bottom of this video. If you like what you see so far, hit that subscribe button. I got some more kayak adventures coming soon. Any questions on the setup, hit me up in the comments. That is a Hobie Pro Angler 14 foot, a 120 pound kayak on top of the Subaru Outback with some crossbars. This is not necessarily going to be my final way to haul this, just because it is a lot of work, but it can be done. I do have a trailer on the way for myself, so I can access that back hatch. But the question is there, can it be done, and can it be done with one person? And yes, it can.